New finesse wearing, I need a new jumper. Need the one with 6 O's, that's a new number. Just shot the whip, was on my 12th runner. Then I did. Solo Scrooge, sending peace and blessings to you all out there. Hashtag Solo Nation. How's it going, my people? Hope everyone's well. Appreciate you all for the love and support of the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We're giving you updates on Sologenic Coreum and XRP. Also hit the like button. That helps push the channel through the analytics and helps the channel grow. So the live stream. We're doing a live stream, my people. How's it going, my people? Hope everyone's well. We're live right now. So a few days I posted. Hold on, let me check to see that this is working properly. Yeah, we live. We're working. So Coreum, I posted Coreum hit our first target of 0.8349. If we can push up to the next target, the next target is 0.96 and then the 10.3. So if we look at the chart, if we take a look at the chart, we can see Coreum, we pushed up. We pushed up and we hit the 0.0963. So Coreum's on the move. How high can we go? How high can we go? Something that we have to look at. Let's take a look. So we're at the 0.96. Found a resistance there. Next resistance is the 10.3. Then the 11.3. Then we've got 12. The 12 cents mark. So we just got to see how high we can go. Take it level by level. But right now we had an inverted head and shoulders. Take a look at it on this chart quickly. We had an inverted head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We pushed up out. So we got to see what the next target. We got to see if we can reach those targets that we just spoke of. So the Sologenic chart. Let's look at Solo. Let's make it a bit smaller, a bit bigger. Let's look in the 3 days. So Sologenic. We spoke of before that Sologenic. We was in this ascending triangle. We broke up out. And we said that we might get rejected along the way. And we had a few targets set. And the 15-16 cents was one of them. The 15-16 cents was one of them and we hit it. But notice when we hit the target, let's take this off quickly. So we hit the target, pushed out of this ascending triangle, which has been downtrending resistance for a long time. Pushed out, but hit the target. We got pushed right back into this channel, into this downtrending resistance below it. So we have to see, are we gonna be able to break up out of it, or are we going lower? If we look in the weekly time frame on Sologenic, we can see that the RSI, hold on, let's get it a bit bigger. We can see that the RSI, we got rejected at the 50 line. At that white line, I've got a mark there. We got rejected we got rejected here. So that's in the weekly time frame, which means we could have an extension to the downside. We can have an extension to the downside, but we have to see. Do me a favor, my people, hit the like button. If you're in there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, giving you updates. So on the weekly time frame, we've got rejected on the 50 line. Push down, we could be having an escalation to the downside, an extension, sorry, to the downside. That's on the weekly. On the 3-day, we're pushing up on the RSI, which says that we could still have room to grow. We could still have room to grow. We've come back down, bounced off the 53 line. So could we have an extension and try and push to hit this downtrend and resistance, or push out even more, or try for another breakout? Something that we have to look at. So that's what I'm seeing for Sologenic. So I'm seeing for Sologenic, my people. So if we move on, we've got the Bitcoin chart here. The Bitcoin chart. And in my opinion, I was saying it looks awful. It looks a lot similar to the Wyckoff events. It looks a lot similar to the Wyckoff events. So if we have a look here, PSY, BC, UT, UTAD, we can have an extension to the upside. And I've got that marked at like about the 37,269 range, $37,269,000, $37,269 level. So we'll see how that goes for the BTC. For the Bitcoin chart, if we take a look at BTC quickly, BTC. That's what the BTC chart's looking like right now, my people. We've pushed above. We pushed above the 31, the 32 level, up to the 35. Right now we're sitting at 35.43. 35.431. So how high can Bitcoin go? This looks like the Wyckoff chart, in my opinion. And for those who don't know a little bit about Wyckoff, that chart looks like it looks like the distribution chart. So Wyckoff method, the origins. Richard Wyckoff was an early 20th century pioneer in the technical approach to studying the stock market. He was considered one of the 5 titans of technical analysis, along with Dow, Gann, Elliott, and Merrill. At the age of 15, he worked as a stock runner for a New York brokerage. Afterward, while still in his 20s, he became the head of his firm. He also founded and for nearly 2 decades wrote and edited the magazine of Wall Street, which at one point he had more than 200,000 subscribers. Wyckoff was an avid student of the markets as well as an active tape reader and trader. He observed the market activities and campaigns of the legendary stock operators of his time, including JP Morgan and Jesse Livermore. From his observations and interviews with those big-time traders, Wyckoff codified the best practices of Livermore and others into laws, principles and techniques of trading methodology, money management, and mental discipline. This is an important part. Mr. Wyckoff observed numerous retail investors being repeatedly fleeced. Consequently, he dedicated himself to instructing the public about the real rules of the game, as played by the large interests or smart money. In the 1930s, he founded a school that would later become the Stock Market Institute. The school's central offering was a course that integrated the concepts that Wyckoff had learned about identifying large operators accumulating and distributing of stock with how to take positions in harmony with these big players. His time-tested insights are as valid today as they were when first articulated. So this is Wyckoff. So the important part that we need to take, Mr. Wyckoff observed numerous retail investors being repeatedly fleeced. Consequently, he dedicated himself to instructing the public about the real rules of the game, as played by the large interests or smart money. So, let's go. Look, Wyckoff's composite man. Wyckoff proposed a historic device to help understand price movements in individual stocks and the market as a whole, which he dubbed the composite man. All the fluctuations in the market and in all the various stocks should be studied as if they were the result of one man's operation. Let us call him the composite man, who in theory sits behind the scenes and manipulates the stocks to your disadvantage if you do not understand the game as he plays it, and to your great profit if you understand it. Wyckoff advised retail traders to try and play the market as the composite man played it. He claimed that it doesn't matter if the market moves are artificial. It doesn't matter if the market moves are real or artificial. That is the result of actual buying and selling by the public and bona fide investors, or artificial buying and selling by large operators. Based on his years of observations of the market activities of large operators, Wyckoff taught that the composite man carefully plans, executes, and concludes his campaigns. The composite man attracts the public to buy a stock in which he has accumulated a sizable line of shares by making many transactions involving many shares, in effect advertising his stock by creating the appearance of a broad market. One must study individual stocks with the purpose of judging the behavior of the stock and the motives of those large operators who dominate it. With study and practice, one can acquire the ability to interpret the motives behind the action that a chart portrays. Wyckoff and his associates believed that if you could understand the market behavior of the composite man, you could identify many trading and investment opportunities early enough to take profit from them. Block Pity, Block, my bro. How you doing, my brother? No problem, bro. No problem, bro. Trying to keep everyone updated with what's going on, my brother. I appreciate the comment, bro. Message me on Twitter if I'm not following you, and I'll follow you back, bro. How you doing, though? What you up to today, bro? Where you from? Where you from, my bro? So look, according to Wyckoff, the market can be understood and anticipated through detailed analysis of supply and demand, which can be ascertained from the study and price action, volume and time. As a broker, he was in a position to observe the activities of highly successful individuals and groups who dominated specific issues. Consequently, he was able to decipher via the use of what he called vertical bar and figure, point and figure, charts, the future intentions of those large interests, an idealized schematic of how we conceptualize the large interest, preparation for, and execution of bull and bear markets is depicted in the figure below. The time to enter long orders is towards the end of the preparation for a price markup or bull market accumulation of large lines, while the time to initiate short positions is at the end of the preparation for price markdown. So that's how the chart normally looks. So to me, this looks like if we're saying Bitcoin, my people, look, accumulation area, this looks like 15K. This looks like where Bitcoin was at 15K. Look, let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. Look, price markups. This looks like where Bitcoin was at 15K. So does it look like we're coming to a top? Let's see. Let's have a look at what Wyckoff is saying to give us a better look. So accumulation, schematic, patterns, Wyckoff events and phases, more accumulation, patterns. So the distribution, Wyckoff events. This is what we want to look at. So distribution, Wyckoff events. So the PSY, preliminary supply, where large interests begin to unload shares in quantity after a pronounced up move. Volume expand and price spread widens, signaling that a change in trend may be approaching. So that's the PSY. We've got the BC, buying climax, during which there are often marked increases in volume and price spread. The force of buying reaches a climax where heavy or urgent buying by the public being filled by professional interests at prices near a top. A BC often coincides with a great earnings report or other good news, since the large operators require huge demand from the public to sell their shares without depressing the stock price. This is serious. You hear that, my people? This is serious. Look, the BC. So the BC, this is a BC, yeah? It says, a BC often coincides with a great earnings report or other good news, since the large operators require huge demand from the public to sell their shares without depressing the stock. It's serious. AR, automatic reaction, with intense buying substantially diminished after the BC and heavy supply continuing, and AR takes place. The low of this sell-off helps define the lower boundary of the distribution trading range, TR trading range. So the AR. So this is the AR. That's the AR. All right. So the ST, secondary test, in which price revisits the area of the BC to test the demand-supply balance at these price levels. For a top to be confirmed, supply must outweigh demand. Volume and spread should thus decrease as price approaches the resistance area of the BC. An ST may take the form of an upthrust UT in which price moves above the resistance represented by the BC, and possibly other STs before quickly reversing to the close below resistance. After a UT, price often tests the lower boundary of the TR of the trend lines. So the ST, that's the ST there. So the SOW's sign of weakness. Observable as a down move to a slightly past the lower boundary of the TR of the trend line, usually occurring on increased spread and volume. The AR and the initial SO indicate a change of character in the price action of the stock. Supply is now dominant. The SO. Yeah, supply is now dominant. You see that, the SO. Okay, so let's go on. Last point, LSPY. Last point of supply. After testing support on an SO, a feebly rally on narrow spread shows that the market is having considerable difficulty advancing. This inability to rally may be due to weak demand, substantial supply, or both. LSPYs represent exhaustion of demand and the last waves of large operators distribution before markdown begins in earnest. So there's the LSPY. And so look, the UTAD is an upthrust after distribution. A UTAD is the distributional counterpart to the spring and terminal shakeout in the accumulation TR, trend line. Or trading ranges. I keep saying trend line, trading ranges. Trading ranges. It occurs in the latter stages of the TR and provides a definitive test of new demand after a breakout above TR resistance. Analogous to springs and shakeouts, a UTAD is not a required structural element. The TR in distribution schematic 1 contains a UTAD, while the TR in distribution schematic 2 does not. Okay, so the distribution schematic, this one contains the UTAD, but this one doesn't. So this pattern here looked more like, I think, when BT hit 69k. Maybe. Let's have a look. This is what this pattern more looks like. When Bitcoin hit 69k. And this one looks like where we are now. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at the chart. Let's take a look at the chart. Okay, look, see? See, look. My people, look. Look at this. This one looks like the second pattern because it didn't have the UTAD. But it had the 1 drive, the 2 drive, but the 3 was lower. Take a look. The 1 drive, 2 a bit higher, but the 3 was lower. Yeah? Alright, so let's look at the pattern and what we look like we're in now. Now, we look like we're in this pattern. Let's get it right. Let's make it a bit. Now we look like we're in this pattern, my people. Because we got the UTAD. On the 69k level, when Bitcoin hit that 69k level, we didn't have the UTAD. But on this pattern, we've got the UTAD, look. And this is not me making up this chart, my people. This is what I'm saying. My people, this is not me making up these charts. I'm just going off what I'm seeing. And just to remind you, look, this is not my chart. This is Wyckoff. Look. Wyckoff, look, Mr. Wyckoff observed numerous retail investors being repeatedly fleeced. Consequently, he dedicated himself to instructing the public about the rules of the game as played by the large interests or smart money. You see what I'm saying to you, my people? This is Wyckoff. This is Mr. Wyckoff. This is his instructions of what he's telling us. He's observed numerous retail investors being fleeced. So consequently, he dedicated himself to instructing the public about the real rules of the game as played by the large interests or smart money. So this is not me making up these patterns. Look. Let's have a look at this again. We gotta go over this again. We have to look. Okay. So I'm gonna start from Bitcoin. When Bitcoin hit the 69k, yeah, Look, this is a distribution schematic pattern too. Yeah? And I didn't make up this chart. This chart is here from Wyckoff. Wyckoff's looking after the people. He observed the people being fleeced. So he said he's going to look after the people. So look, all right, take a look. So we've got this high here. The second high, you got the UT, it came a bit higher. But the third one was a lower high. All right? So let's go back to the BTC chart. We're going to go back to the BTC chart. 69K, when Bitcoin hit 69K. And if we take a look, my people, look, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. Wyckoff did not live at this time. He was not living. So look, you got that high where Bitcoin hit like 64K. Then you've got the second high where Bitcoin hit like 69K. But then the third high was a lower high. Can't make this up, my people. So that's that pattern there. That's that pattern. After that pattern played out, BTC, look, came all the way down from 69,000 to 15K. After that pattern played out. So where are we now? Where are we now? As we're saying that if we can see that first pattern, let's look at the second pattern again, just to so we know what's going on. Because this information of this patterns doesn't come from me. It comes from Wyckoff, and he was the man that observed numerous traders being fleeced. So look. So now, distribution schematic 2, Wyckoff events and phases. I've tried to draw this out to the T. I've tried to draw it out to the T for us, my people. Block Pity, my bro. Where do you think the Bitcoin halving next year will fit into Wyckoff's pattern? Bro, that's a good question, bro. Right, that's a good question, bro. Bro, I'm not even sure at this moment, bro. I'm not even sure, bro. You know, because, bro, to be honest, if I be honest with you, bro, I only got into crypto in 2021, bro. So I haven't been around for all the halvenings. I haven't been around for all the halvening events. I haven't been here for all the halvening events, so it's a tricky one. I'm just going on what I'm seeing on the charts. Like my thing is what I'm seeing on the charts. Like, if you understand what I'm saying, like, so this is where my knowledge of where I think the market, in what direction the market's moving to, or whichever way. My knowledge, like, I base it on mostly on the charts. And what you find out is that a lot of the time, the news plays into the charts. And reading what Wyckoff is saying, he's confirming that, you know, a lot of the time the news plays into the charts because the big traders are getting ready to set up whatever. The big players, are getting ready to make their move. So it's a tricky one to where I think the halving will be next year, how it will fit into the plans. But on the whole, I think we have a bit lower to go. I think we could push a bit higher. If we look at the chart, let's look at the chart, look. Because even though we've come to 35K, I think there's a chance that we can push higher to the 37. Look, I've got it at the 37,269. Yeah, so we could push a bit higher, but if we're looking at this pattern, and we say that, if we're looking at this pattern and we're saying, okay, we're agreeing that this pattern is looking like this pattern, then I think we'll be lower. I think we'll be at I think we'll be lower, considerably lower to the prices that we are now. Because look, BC, the pattern fills out. You can see it, and I drawed out this part on the chart, the LSPY, the LPSY. Sorry, I've just drawn it out. It might not follow it to that degree. It might everything might happen sooner or later, but I've just drawn it out just to give a rough guideline. We can never predict dates. On when these things are happening. It's impossible. It can happen sooner. It can happen later. If this chart is correct, if this is the Wyckoff chart, and we're saying that this chart is correct, because maybe this chart could be invalidated, and we could have a reaccumulation phase. If for those who believe we're going to the bull, into a bull market, they have I've seen patterns where the Wyckoff chart has gone into a reaccumulation phase. I've looked at about 30 different patterns, but I couldn't find one that deviated from what we're seeing now. So I still have homework to do on that. So I can only go on what I'm seeing, but this is what I'm seeing for the Bitcoin chart, my people. Hit the like button if you agree with it. If you think that the chart looks similar, if you think these charts look similar, hit the like button. Let's take one last look at the 69K one again, and then this one again, and then we'll move on to the next. So, all right, let's take one last look. So, distribution schematic pattern 2. We have the high here, but then we went to a second high. The third one was a lower high. So let's just check it out for the 69K level. So as we can see, 2021, we had the high here around 64,000. The next high was a higher high at the 69,000 level. And then the third high was a lower high. And this is the Wyckoff schematic pattern. Sorry, Wyckoff schematic distribution pattern. Distribution schematic 2, events and phases. So if we look at we'll take a last look. This is the last look at this one. If we look at the Wyckoff distributing schematic pattern, Wyckoff events and phases on this one, number 1, we see that we had one high. The second one was higher than the first high, and the third one was higher than the second and the first high. And also in trading, there's another pattern that's called a 3 drives to a high. If I had a line, let me get it here. Actually, let me try and do it on the thing. So let's just look at that. So that chart looks similar to this chart. That's what I'm saying. And also we look like we're in a rising wedge as well. You see, I've drawn the blue line here. The blue line that goes up here from when Bitcoin was at the bottom. This line connects all the way up here, and then we've got from the top, and that looks like a rising wedge. And rising wedges tend to fall to the downside once they break out of the pattern. If they don't break up to the upside. So yeah, like I was saying, you got another pattern that's called a 3 drives to a high pattern, and that pattern would be something like this. That pattern would be something like that. I don't know if you can see that line. Let me make it maybe a white. Let me make it white. So if you see that white line, this white line, and that would be a 3 drives to a high pattern. And what tends to happen with these 3 drives to a high, you see this line connects with this line, and then the third high is normally you get a blow off the top. You get a blow off the top on the 3rd drive to a high. From what I've seen in my experiences trading, but I've only been in the market since 2021, my people. So some of you may be more experienced than me. So it's never financial advice. It's always my thoughts and opinions. So let's take that off. So that's what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. If we move that back up here. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing for this chart here. This chart here looks awful similar to Wyckoff's distributing schematic 1 chart. And remember, for those who don't know who Wyckoff is, for those who just came in, you might be thinking, why should I listen to Wyckoff? Who's Wyckoff? Wyckoff, bear with me. First of all, Mr. Wyckoff was a man. He observed numerous retail investors being repeatedly fleeced. Consequently, he dedicated himself into instructing the public about the real rules of the game as played by the large interests or smart money. And remember, Wyckoff was an avid student of the markets as well as an active tape reader and trader. He observed the market activities and campaigns of the legendary stock operators of his time, including JP Morgan and Jesse Livermore. From his observations and interviews with those big-time traders, Wyckoff codified the best practices of Livermore and others into laws, principles, and techniques of trading methodology, money management, and mental discipline. So Wyckoff was a man, you know, he observed numerous. I have to say it again. Last time I'm gonna read this, my people, because there's not many people looking out for the retail trader. There's not many people looking out for the retail trader. I have to say it again. Yeah, Wyckoff. You know, Mr. Wyckoff observed numerous retail investors being repeatedly fleeced. Consequently, he dedicated himself to instructing the public about the real rules of the game as played by the large interest or smart money. So that's Wyckoff. You know, we went over the composite man. For those who missed it, you know, the composite man, remember the Wyckoff said, you know, the composite man carefully plans, executes, and concludes his campaigns. It reminds, you know, it makes me think of Larry. You know when Larry thinks on CNBC and on the air, and he's telling you, Bitcoin, yeah, you know, the other day when he was talking about, you know, when there was a rally the other day, and he was speaking of, you know, it's a flight to quality, crypto, and the composite man carefully plans and executes and concludes his campaigns. The composite man attracts the public to buy a stock in which he has accumulated a sizable line of shares by making many transactions involving many shares, in effect advertising his stock by creating the appearance of a broad market. You know, so that's Wyckoff anyway. Wyckoff was letting us know, my people. You know, we'll leave that one there. Mr. Wyckoff. Shout out to you, Mr. Wyckoff. So moving on, my people. You got Coreum. Coreum, the 4th and final airdrop distribution has started. Expect completion within 2 to 3 days. You can track the transactions in real time if you want. That's Coreum. 1st of November airdrop. For those who held Coreum on the 24th of March 2023, we're receiving the last core airdrop today and over the next 2 to 3 days. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing. So got a few different wallets that I'll be receiving Coreum in. So where are we? Let's not lose track. So Mr. Man XRP, shout out to Mr. Man XRP, posted, he said, "This is your future and the roadmap that gets us here. CBDCs are coming. Accept it. They're a question of when and how, not if. Kicking and screaming will not help you. Suck it up and get ready for the ride of your life. You're in the right place at the right time. and there are some of the best teachers in the space to show you the background of what is taking place. So let's have a look, listen to this one quickly.
As challenging economies in the world, are you still bullish about CBDCs?
Thank you, Sir Anthony. For sure. I mean, CBDCs are a structural story. It's not a cyclical story. This is an evolution that, in our opinion, is inevitable. It will happen. As you said before, it's just a question of when and how, not if. In fact, I'm still surprised to see so many central bankers around the world being even skeptical about the need for CBDCs. We used to have letters written on paper with pen and posted and so on, and today everybody uses emails, of course. We used to have landlines. Today we do video calls, and in this respect, we have cash, and in the digital world, we will have CBDCs. It's as simple as that. Use cases will come. The platform will be provided by the technology that they are piloting in the UK and some other parts of the world. And then, when technology is available, that will help policy implementation. Let me make two examples. Fiscal policy, monetary policy. Fiscal policy. We need to provide stimulus sometimes. If we can provide targeted stimulus, it's so much better. And the programmability of payments that is enabled by CBDCs helps that, facilitate tremendously. Monetary policy. We all have faced the problems of having a lower bound, whether it's zero or effective. It's very hard to cut rates below zero. Why? Because you have cash that can be used as a substitute to avoid, say, the negative deposit rate. But once cash will be slowly phased out, I'm not saying immediately, but slowly phased out, then potentially central bankers can implement very negative interest rates. So the zero will not be a bound anymore. It will be just one of the many numbers out there. And the yield curve can be steep even when long-term rates are so low. That's the challenge that we have faced in the last few years.
Thank you. You mentioned...
So CBDCs are coming, my people. You heard what he said. CBDCs are coming. Shout out to Mr. Man XRP.
As challenging economies in the world.
We don't want that. Shout out to Mr. Man XRP. Always delivering great content. For sure. So Watch Your Guru posted. Justin, SEC charges Safemoon crypto token and its executives with fraud. So this was going on, my people. Safemoon. I remember CoffeeZilla did a what was it? He did a whole long video. What do you call it? I can't remember what you call it, but yeah, CoffeeZilla. He did something on Safemoon. But Safemoon, you know, Safemoon. I remember seeing pictures of Safemoon being advertised on advertisements in Dubai. You know, look, so Safemoon founders arrested on wire fraud and money laundering charges. Look. Safemoon founders arrested. Kyle Nagy at large. The charges include wire fraud and money laundering. There are also accusations of misappropriation and investor deception. This is what's going on, my people. In a significant development, the founders of Safemoon, a decentralized finance digital asset, are facing criminal charges in the United States. John Caroni and Thomas Smith have been arrested while Kyle remains at large. Okay, so this guy remains at large. This is what's going on, my people. They said he remains at large. I thought they got them all. So Sounds like he's on the run. He's ducking and diving. He's not trying to get caught. So Kyle Nagy remains at large. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York has charged them with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. That's mad. That's mad. That's mad. Conspiracy is worse than actually committing the crime. You get more time for conspiracy. You know, for being charged and actually convicted of conspiracy, you get more time than actually if you did the crime. So it's crazy. The arrests and allegations. Brandon John Caroni and Thomas Smith, two of the individuals behind Safemoon, were apprehended in Provo, Utah and Bethlehem. New Hampshire, respectively. They are accused of participating in a scheme to defraud investors in Safemoon. This cryptocurrency issued by Safemoon gained immense popularity with its market capitalization exceeding $8 billion. The charges revolve around allegations that the defendants misled Safemoon investors. They misrepresented the accessibility of locked liquidity, which was supposedly beyond their reach. Furthermore, they are accused of diverting and misappropriating millions of dollars from the liquidity pool for personal gain. I remember they was talking about that. See, because I remember, I had friends telling me about Safemoon. And I think I remember the early stages when I got into crypto, I bought like $100 of Safemoon. And I think it went up a little bit, but then it went down and I never took it out. So it was a loss. It was a loss. But then I remember that they migrated. Moshu says, Moshu05, shout out to you, my bro. Have you noticed the Corda and Coreum logo are similar? I haven't, you know, bro. But if you notice, the Coreum logo is the image of gold, coincidental gold, not coincidental, collidal gold. Bro, you got. Thank you, my bro. Bro, I'm gonna check these logos. Now that you've mentioned them, I'm gonna check these logos. I'm gonna check it out, my bro. Tell me more, bro. Let me know more, my bro. You know, this is a channel for learning. We're all learning. I've only been in crypto since 2021, so I'm still learning. So much to learn. So anything you got, anything you've got that's good for us to learn, let me know, my bro. Follow me on Twitter. If I'm not following you back, I'll follow you back, my bro. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, bro. So a background on Safemoon. We don't need to know a background on Safemoon. Alright, Safemoon, let's go. Let's just go through it quickly. Safemoon tokens, SFM, were introduced in March 2021 by Safemoon LLC on a public blockchain. A unique feature of SFM transactions was the imposition of a 10% tax with 5% allocated to benefit SFM holders and the other 5% to designated liquidity pools. The larger the liquidity pool, the greater the liquidity in the market for SFM. It quickly gained more than 1 million holders and a market capitalization of over 8 billion. Yeah, I was one of them. I put $100, man. I got, I took a loss. Safemoon founders fraudulent scheme. The indictment, as per the United States Attorney's Office, Eastern District, New York, alleges that the defendants made false representations to investors, including the use of locked liquidity pools to prevent rug pulling. They also claim that tokens in the liquidity pool wouldn't be used for personal enrichment. However, it is alleged that the defendants maintained access to the liquidity pools and intentionally diverted the misappropriated millions of dollars worth of tokens for their personal benefit. Moreover, they are accused of engaging in SFM trading for their own gain, even at the peak of SFM's market price, resulting in substantial profits. The defendants concealed the movement of these funds through various methods, including private, unhosted crypto wallets and Pseudonymous. You lot can pronounce that word for me. Centralized exchange accounts. The misappropriated funds were allegedly used to purchase luxury vehicles and real estate in different states. This is what they was doing. The misappropriated funds were allegedly used to purchase luxury vehicles and real estate in different estates. Speak. The charges in the indictment are allegations, and the defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The case is being handled by the U.S. Attorney's Office Business and Securities Fraud Section. This case highlights the importance of regulatory oversight in the cryptocurrency industry to protect investors and maintain trust in digital assets. As the legal proceedings unfold, more details will emerge and the accused individuals will have their day in court to address these serious allegations. So I speak. Safemoon founders arrested on wire fraud and money laundering charges, but one of them still remain at large. Maybe he's ducking low, my people. Do me a favor, my people. Hit the like button for me. Share the live. So, we're going to get into a little bit of Hedera. I know I don't normally cover Hedera. But we was buying Hedera. When was we buying it? I think we was buying Hedera $50 a week. We was dollar cost averaging into Hedera. Thanks to my bro, the XRP Future Millionaire. So if you're not following the XRP Future Millionaire, follow him on YouTube and keeps you up to date with XRP. But yeah, we was buying Hedera. So let's get into this short video. And head of global policy, Nilmini Rubin, highlights from digital assets subcommittee hearing. And the subcommittee, United States Congressional Subcommittee, a congressional subcommittee in the United States Congress is a subdivision of a United States Congressional Committee that considers specified matters and reports back to the full committee. Subcommittees are formed by most committees to share specific tasks within the jurisdiction of the full committee. A subcommittee is a small group of people assigned to focus on a particular task or area, such as finance or personnel. A subcommittee generally make recommendations to the management committee for decision. So let's get into this one, my people.
I want to thank everybody to this meeting of the Subcommittee on Commodity Markets, Digital Assets, and Rural Development. It has the rather clunky abbreviation of COMDAR. Staff were instructed to find something better, but I guess that's the best that we could do, so be it. We do have a lot of work to dig into this year, and I'm excited to get started. Of course, today's hearing is on digital assets, but it's hardly the only thing that we're collectively going to be working on together. I mean, clearly rural development is going to be really important, particularly in light of that title of the Farm Bill. We also have the Commodities Future Trading Corporation, or Commission rather, which is going to be important, particularly given the fact that we have had both the chairman and the ranking member commit to doing reauthorization of the CFTC this year. And I look forward to working with Chair Caraveo and others on the committee on that work. But today, we are tasked with examining digital asset markets. And I think most importantly, understanding what are the gaps in this regulatory framework and how are those gaps harming innovators and consumers alike. And as I mentioned, we have an august panel to help walk us through that. I think it would be an unfortunate deficiency if we didn't take a moment to call out the nearly unprecedented level of cooperation and collaboration that we have had with the House Financial Services Committee. This is a town where people very much like to fight over turf and where egos can sometimes get in the way of progress, but that group is convening at this exact same moment.
Sorry, my bro, yes. Moshu, my bro. Most cryptos are ISO 20022 compatible, but Coreum ISO 20022 is built into its software protocol. Absolutely, my brother. Also, I think Reza, if I heard correctly, Solo was built on Coreum, quoted by Reza. No, Solo is built on XRP Ledger, but Coreum has built their system to cater for the needs of Sologenic. So Sologenic is on the XRP Ledger, but Coreum has built its features to cater for Sologenic, and Sologenic. So is, if you understand what I'm saying, so you'll be able to use Sologenic on Coreum. Sologenic will be able to be used on the XRPL. Interoperability.
Moment, a complementary hearing dealing with the same general topic. What are the gaps in the regulatory framework, and how can we work together to address them? And in fact, next month, the collaboration gets even closer insofar as we have a joint hearing to examine these issues together, and those are not typical in this town. And that cooperation is a testament to the importance that both Chairman McHenry and Chairman Thompson, as well as the teams on both sides of the aisle, have had to getting things done on digital assets this Congress. A lot of ink has been spilled on digital assets, a lot of it breathlessly positive, a lot of it angrily negative. I think reasonable people understand that digital assets and the underlying blockchain chains can bring a tremendous amount of opportunity. They can also be filled with a fair amount of hype. And we know that in this marketplace, as in every marketplace, there are fraudsters and hucksters that seek to make money while, unfortunately, giving the whole industry a bad name. And the hits and misses are well known to all of us. You have hits like Ethereum, Hedera, Filecoin, and then you have outfits like Banana Coin, Kodak Coin, and Mooncoin. So those are the highs and the lows. The difficult task we're starting today, and we're really not starting it. I know there have been lots of informal conversations over the course of months, and even some work done in the last Congress. But the work that we begin anew today is to craft a legislative framework that will allow the next Ethereum or Filecoin to emerge, while at the same time protecting the public from the hype, the scams, and the frauds that we have seen all too much of in the last few years. So our first witness today is Mr. Daniel Davis, who is a partner and the co-chair of Financial Markets and Regulation at the Catton Muchen Rosenman firm. Previously, he was the general counsel at the CFTC. We also have Ms. Purvi Maniar, who is the Deputy General Counsel at Falcon X Holdings. Our third witness is Nilmini Rubin, who's the head of global policy at Hedera. Our fourth witness is Mr. Timothy Masad. Mr. Masad currently serves as a research fellow at the Kennedy School of Government at Harvard and is the director of the MRCBG Digital Assets Policy Projects. He was, as I suspect many of you know, also a former chairman of the CFTC. Our fifth and final witness today is Mr. Joseph A. Hall, who is a partner at Davis Polk and Wardwell. He's formerly managing executive for policy at the SEC. I want to thank all of our witnesses for joining us today.
Thank you, Chairman Johnson, Ranking Member Caraveo, members of the subcommittee for inviting me to testify. As today is Take Your Child to Work Day.
So this is Miss Nilmina Rubin, and she's the head of global policy at Hedera.
My husband has brought two of our three daughters here today. I am Nilmini Rubin, head of global policy for the Hedera Governing Council, a decentralized multi-stakeholder governing body that establishes policies for the open source Hedera network. Hedera is a fast and green distributed ledger or public blockchain. Essentially, Hedera provides a layer of trusted internet infrastructure for applications with real-world impact. What we call the internet is a set of computers talking to each other through open protocols. These protocols have evolved over time to enable additional features and capabilities that benefit society. Initially, protocols enabled only read-only text, or Web 1. Then they enabled posting content and conducting commerce, or Web 2. And now they enable personal control of data, or Web 3. Public blockchains are Web 3 platforms for other applications and are operated by a network of independent computers, or nodes. Now, these nodes do not fund their operations by showing advertisements or selling subscriptions. Instead, nodes are paid by users directly through fees, like water, electricity. Node fees are typically tiny and frequent, with hundreds or thousands of transactions processed per second. It is not possible to use the traditional financial system to send fractions of a penny quickly, efficiently, and globally. To solve this problem, public blockchains use a digital asset, or cryptocurrency, to rapidly transfer value between users and node operators. The cryptocurrency serves as a fuel on which the network runs. For example, in March, the Hedera network processed over 1 billion transactions. Each transaction cost between 1/10 and 100th of a penny and was paid in the Hedera network's cryptocurrency called Hbar. The key takeaway here is that public blockchains need digital assets to operate. The ability of blockchains to provide trusted and time-stamped records enables people to store, track, and monitor data in new and powerful ways. 3 examples of products running on the Hedera network include the Dovu marketplace that allows farmers to generate additional income from actions like changing farming techniques and planting additional crops. Their actions are tokenized as carbon credits to fund carbon-reducing projects. The second one is Atma.io, built by Avery Dennison. It helps brands reduce waste across the supply chain for over 28 billion items. It has both economic and environmental benefits. And third, Everywhere. It monitors vaccine cold chain storage across the supply chain and picks up on any irregularities before administering those vaccines to patients, keeping patients safe. U.S. network and market infrastructure providers need a complete roadmap towards compliance. The current U.S. regulatory environment provides no clear path to compliance for digital assets, leaving blockchains with 2 choices: either stop operating in the U.S. or hope U.S. policy will come through before the enforcement of misaligned regulations. To protect consumers, enable innovation, and promote competition, we recommend Congress pass legislation creating an activities-based framework to regulate digital assets based on the nature of the transaction. First, Congress should provide a definition of and delineation between digital commodity and digital security, or state when a digital asset is neither. Second, Congress should empower the CFTC to regulate certain digital commodity activities, such as operating a centralized spot marketplace. To extend U.S. leadership and competitiveness, Congress should establish digital asset policy that supports the use of public blockchains. The rest of the world is recognizing the potential of blockchains. Other jurisdictions, such as Dubai, Europe, Singapore, and the United Kingdom, are creating digital asset regulatory certainty. The United States risks shutting out businesses that rely on digital assets to operate, risks shutting out the ability to regulate the industry, and most importantly, risks removing the American people's access to the efficiency, transparency, and data storage tools that the rest of the world will be using to their competitive advantage. Thank you for focusing on policy for the next wave of digital innovation.
Very well said.
Start my question with Mrs. Rubin. I'd like to further explore with you the practical uses of digital assets and blockchain technology. In your testimony, you talk about how several organizations are using the Hedera network to improve their businesses. Can you elaborate on a project or two who utilize your network to accomplish daily or commercial activities?
Thank you, Chairman, for this question. I included a few use cases in the testimony. One was Dovu, which allows farmers to tokenize the work that they're doing. So let's say they have a regular crop and they plant additional flowers around the edge that has different environmental benefits and carbon benefits. They can tokenize that and sell it as an offset. They can, if they decide to drill instead of tilling, they can tokenize that changed farming technique and make money on it. It's really fascinating. Another one that I thought was fun was Tune FM.
So she just gave an example. She just gave an example to the committee. Look, if you didn't catch it, let's rewind that again. Let's rewind that. Hold on.
In the testimony, one was Dovu.
Or commercial activities. They're using the Hedera network to improve their businesses. Can you elaborate on a project or two who utilize your network to accomplish daily or commercial activities?
Thank you, Chairman, for this question. I included a few use cases in the testimony. One was Dovu.
So he's asked her to name a project to elaborate on the use cases that's active right now, and she said Dovu. So she's telling the subcommittee about Dovu.
I included a few use cases in the testimony. One was Dovu, which allows farmers to tokenize the work that they're doing. So let's say they have a regular crop and they plant additional flowers around the edge that has different environmental benefits and carbon benefits. They can tokenize that and sell it as an offset. They can, if they decide to drill instead of tilling, they can tokenize that changed farming technique and make money on it. It's really fascinating. Another one that I thought was fun was Tune FM. And it's kind of like Spotify, but on the blockchain. So it allows artists to get paid immediately. Like as soon as someone's listening to it, then that tiny amount of money goes to them. They don't have to wait. They don't have to prove there's a certain number of listeners. It's clearly on the blockchain. This number of people listen to your song, and this is how much you get, and per amount of time the song was played. Another that really moved me was with AVC Global and Medical Value Chain.
So this lady here, Miss Nilmini Rubin, the head of global policy at Hedera, she just informed the subcommittee about Dovu, and Dovu are tokenizing the carbon credits. So, Dovu. Only those that are here now will get this gem. Only those that are here now will get this gem. So Dovu, tokenizing carbon credits, our story, making credit scalable. We build decentralized solutions to make ecological credits digitally traceable and scalable. For the last 5 years, our vision has been a world in where there is clear recognition of the provenance of ecological credits in the marketplace accessible to all. Our mission is to equip every ecological project with swift digitization and global validation. So that's their mission. Our mission is to equip every ecological project with the swift digitization. So our mission is to equip every ecological project with digitization and global validation. Collaborating for a green planet. And we've been collaborating since day one. The Dovu community, an international alliance of informed token holders and strategic partners and international partners, has amplified our work and we're just getting started. Dovu is powering the world's climate response through building the digital infrastructure for the green economy. And you see the partnerships to be proud of. From the very beginning, we've looked for partners who have complementary missions to ours. For technology partners, from technology partners to buyers, suppliers, and verifiers, we're always looking to work with pioneers. And you see that Hbar is a partner of Dovu. Dovu will run. Look, Dovu. Look, testimonies. This guy here. VP Sustainability and ESG at Hbar Foundation. He says Dovu's automated, transparent and public auditable proof of carbon and dynamic NFT approach is changing the way farmers remove carbon from the environment. This methodology opens up new means of compensation for farmers. So farming is one of the biggest industries. Everyone has to eat, my people. Everyone has to eat. So when you're talking of, farming and carbon credits, it's a big industry, and there's a big gap there. And Dovu are trying to fill that gap. So Dovu, that's Dovu there. Twitter. Look, Dovu tokenizing ecological credits such as carbon is inevitable, and marketplaces need to adapt. AI onboarding tools, API for DMRV, transparent registry, portable but non-fungible credits, API into multiple liquidity pools. This is our strategy. Build for the future. So don't go and buy Dovu right now, my people, because look, Dovu. Hold on. Look, let me see. Look, Dovu. Look, they've got the. This is not financial advice. It's never financial advice, my people. This is not financial advice, because I think the market is going down on a hole. But look, you see, you got the old Dovu, and that comes up as DOV, and then you've got Dovu. The old Dovu migrated to the new Dovu. So don't go out and buy the old Dovu if you wanted to buy the Dovu. I'm not telling anyone to buy Dovu. Always do your own research and financial advice. But if you do go and buy it, don't buy the old Dovu. Buy the new Dove. But right now it's even hard to buy it, because you can only buy it on SaucerSwap, from my understanding at the moment. So Dovu, that's a gem. Only those who watch that will be able to see this gem here. And in my opinion, my people, this is Dovu. They're tokenizing carbon credit. They're tokenizing carbon credits on Hedera. Yeah, partnership with Hedera. Dovu right now is sitting at 0.0004. So it's less than half a penny. Less than half a penny. In my opinion, Dovu tokenizing carbon credits on Hedera, partnership with Hedera. This is undervalued. This is undervalued, my people. Look, from 4, if we were to move 1 0, that's a 10x. Another 0, 100x. At 40 cents, Dovu, that's 1,000x, my people. If Dovu was to hit 40 cents, that's 1,000x. 10, 100, 1,000. If Dovu hits 4 cents, it's 100x. If it hits 40 cents, that's 1,000x. So something to look into. Dovu, tokenizing carbon credits on Hedera. So crypto bubbles. Mana up 12.6%. Hex up 6%. Uniswap up 12.2%. Hbar up 8.3%. IOTA up 5.2%. Solana up 9.1%. Crypto bubbles. And liquidation heat map. For the traders, total liquidations. Woo. In the last 24 hours, 155.29 million wrecked. 66.59 of those that went long, and 88.7 of those that went short. So my people, I appreciate you all for the love and support of the channel. Appreciate those that watched the live, that stuck around for the live. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video for me. I'm Solo Scrooge with the Solo News. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Need finesse one. Money on my mind, I need the M fast. Got the drop at 8, then read that by 10 past. They said he who laughs first won't get the end laugh.